Hey guys, I'm Maddie. I'm the makeup artist for Dollhouse, and this is my burnt orange look. And if you want to see how it works, just stay tuned. So we're starting with Toofaced Hangover Primer. It's a coconut water primer, and it's really nice and good for your skin. Very hydrating and easy. I've used a lot of primers before, and they're very thick and greasy feeling. And this one was probably the best thing I've ever found. I never had any breakout problems with it, and I have a lot of problems around my nose. This is NYX BB cream. It's in 01, the lightest shade that they have. It's really, really nice and moisturizing for your skin. I use it with a damp sponge just for like a light coverage. If you don't need a light coverage, just use a dry sponge. And then I use NYX concealer, and this one's in 02. It's also really light. 3 works really well too, depending on what foundation you're using. It mixes really well, and it doesn't leave like a weird like yellow tinge if that's what you're worrying about with concealers. This is NYX Wonder Stick. I use it in light. You can also use it in universal, but I prefer the light a little bit more. It's not as dark, and it spreads a lot better with my skin tone. I spread it across right under my cheekbones and then into my forehead, and then I use the Lorac Pro in the light contour and just kind of set it all the way around. Not too harsh, obviously. You don't want to look like you just like a bronze statue. I don't want just like harsh lines. Oh, there's things in my face. Okay. I did a little bit along my nose, not too much. And this is the one blush that I love more than anything that I can't find again. It's Tarte Daydream. And I put that on the apples of my cheeks and then into my temples. And this is the NYX loose powder in light medium. Spread it everywhere. There was the HD powder, but if you're taking pictures, it reflects really badly. So I just kind of like spread that everywhere. I set it a lot more under my eyes more than anything when you do your shadow. In case there's any fallout, you can kind of brush it away. This is Lorac Behind the Scenes eye primer. It comes with a lot of the Pro palettes that you get. You really don't need a lot. You just kind of spread it out. It's a lot better than the Urban Decay ones, I personally feel, because you don't ever get like harsh lines, even if you don't blend it out horribly well. It's not as harsh at all. This is the Kat Von D holiday palette from this year. It is fucking amazing. And this is the Harpsichord, is the first one I use. I've had it on with my finger, just so you get a lot of the pigment. I feel like it's better to use your finger for like the base color that you use. There's a lot less fallout and shinier, so that's nice. And it makes it easier when you blend too, because it's not just like kind of a lot of loose power. I always use like a card. Obviously I'm using a Joker card, but I always use a card or like a credit card or something, just because later on when you're trying to do your eyeliner, it's a lot better of a guideline to make everything a lot more even. And the second powder I'm using, Analogue, that's what I'm using. And I buff it out really well. I mean, you really can't go over it too many times, honestly. It just makes it a lot smoother of a transition when you're getting with your rest of the colors. This darker brown one I'm using is called Box. I use that up into the crease. You don't want to go all the way over, but just enough so it, once again, blends really well with your transition. And I know it seems weird to use a brown, but with like a burnt orange, you want to do that. It makes it a lot smoother when you put the black on, so it's not just like, oh, here's orange and here's black. Super Halloween-y. After I put all that, I go back over with my base color, and I put it on my finger and just pat it on again, just to kind of smooth it out a little bit more. I go back with Analogue under my eye, and I spread it all the way along. I spread it along. That sounded weird first time. Alright. Then I use black metal again, just on the outer crease. unless you want it to be a little heavier, then you can put it all the way along. If you're gonna do that, then I would say Analogue a lot farther out, and then just kind of like tight line it with the black metal. This is called Lyric on the same palette. I use it to highlight under my brows and then on the inner corners of my eyes, just to kind of open it up a little bit so it's not so dark. And this is Kat Von D's tattoo liner. I like this a little bit more than the ink because the ink is really heavy and you kind of can't fix it if you mess it up the first time, so I really prefer using the tattoo liner a little bit more. I feel like I have a little bit more control as well. But I use that, and then like I used the card earlier, it's kind of like a good guideline, so you even out the top of your eyes like I'm doing there, and then I finally do the wing, and then you even it all out just on the corners. You don't want to make, you know, just super thick lines. It's ridiculous. This is Maybelline Eye Studio. I have used this at the beginning of time, honestly. It's really cheap. You can get it at like any Walgreens or CVS. And it literally stays for 24 hours. It's no joke. This is the Makeup Forever Extravagant Mascara. I really like this. I've been using it a lot recently. It's not as waterproof as I'd want it to be, but it spreads really easily, and it's like... This is Anastasia pomade. It's an ebony, and I'm using the smaller brush that she sells. I actually like it a little bit better just because I feel like I have more control on myself. Obviously, if you're doing makeup on somebody else, it's a lot better to have the longer one, but I just kind of fill in my brows. I already have really thick, dark brows, so people make me laugh at me. And I comb it out after I do the gel again. After I put the pomade in, and then I do the gel. And this is Naked Nooner. It's really nice and smooth, and it really stays for a really long time. It's not too sticky. People making me laugh again. It's not too sticky, and it lasts for a really long time, so I like it. And that's my look. And now I'm fixing my hair because it got a little weird from being up for so long. Yep, that's it.
Maybe you should say something like, I'm Maddie,